It's not too far to say that it was divinely inspired, this book. It reminds me of a Bach cantata.
I don't think you can see it and not go like, holy moly.
It has more than deepened my spiritual journey.
I'm thankful for this church family and for the way we came together with this Bible.
It's a really wonderful story. It's the first Christian Bible, handwritten and hand-illuminated since the invention of the printing press.
It started with this guy, Donald Jackson, who just sort of wanted to pen the Bible.
He decided he was going to create this Bible in the methods that were used in medieval times. And it took 11 years to complete the 7 volumes.
It's so ancient and modern at the same time. Evolution is in there, and the AIDS virus and the Twin Towers.
You see DNA. They make clear the fact that all people came from Africa.
Those illuminations are intended to illuminate the text, to give you a different pathway into the meaning of Scripture.
The creators of this project also were very intent on making it an ecumenical project. So even though it's a Catholic university and abbey, they chose a translation that most Christian churches use.
7 of us flew out one morning to Collegeville, Minnesota, which is where St. John's Abbey and University is located. We had a really good deep dive into what the St. John's Bible is. And then the goal was to come back here and spread that word.
My first experience of the St. John's Bible was actually during my interview with the vestry to become the new rector here. Out of a day full of wonderful events, it really was one of the highlights to see this incredible Bible, and more importantly, to see the passion that the docents brought to their work. And I remember coming home back to New York after the interview and saying, I want to be part of a parish that's that excited about Scripture.
We've been using the St. John's Bible, since it arrived in a whole variety of ways.
For teaching, for education, for meditation, for prayer, for worship.
When Ellen was here, she started this Wednesday lecture, lunch, St. John's Bible series. And it started off with a very small group, and as the Wednesdays went on, the room would be filled.
One of the things I was most happy to do in my first year was to have a weekly Tuesday night Bible study on Zoom. And so for 24 weeks, we gathered on Zoom. But each week, I was able to bring in at least one, sometimes 2 or 3 or 4 illuminations from the St. John's Bible. And because we were on Zoom, we were able to zoom in and really look at them in greater detail and notice all the intricate symbols and imagery that the artist had included.
With youth, we particularly have used it with our confirmation classes. I'll never forget the profound reactions that some of the students had.
They were fascinated by it, crowding around the Bible and asking questions about it and being interested, which is, hard to do sometimes with middle schoolers. And then them asking, can we see the Bible again? They were really fascinated by it.
The goal was to take the Bible out to the community.
The St. John's Bible made an appearance at one of our community suppers. And word began to spread that, okay, you really need to go see this. This is really something very special.
My mother lives in a senior living facility here in town, and I volunteered to come over, bring our volume of the St. John's Bible, give a little talk on it, and let people come up and look at it. And one of the people who came up said, I think my rabbi would love to see this.
So Al and I went to Temple Beth El in Norwalk and visited with Rabbi Ida Paskind.
She turned the pages. We talked about how the scribing went, and she took the Torah out of its sanctuary and shared that scribal tradition. And it was just a wonderful exchange around these sacred texts.
We're members of St. Thomas More Roman Catholic Parish. We came over, Kathy and I, and we saw the Bible, and we did some Bible studies, and it was just marvelous.
We found that the Darien Arts Center would be our partner in putting on workshops that taught gilding and calligraphy.
I came here from Yale Divinity School, where we have the entire collection of the St. John's Bible, all the volumes, and never once did I see them myself, except sitting there coming here, it's like, whoa, we're using it every week in worship. We're using it regularly for all sorts of other programming.
We've really used this Bible.
It was so exciting to proclaim that living word from that enormous, beautiful, collaborative, ancient and modern piece of art. It's what I want my ministry to be. It's what I want my sermons to be. It's just this beautiful interweaving of people, of time and place with the Lord.
Just slows you down and invites you into a place of wonder and awe at the mystery of Scripture.
It made the Bible not seem like something that was written 2,000 years ago, but something that was very real that we could relate to today.
I thought I knew the Bible pretty well. And then I saw the St. John's Bible, and I started looking at the illuminations. I started seeing these stories as though I was coming to them for the first time.
Having spent this 2 years with our volume has renewed in me, and I'm sure lots of my fellow parishioners, a love of the Word and an understanding of the Word as a living Word for us.
It was a great way to keep the parish together, a great way to come to know parishioners more deeply, and to be in Scripture together in this challenging year.
What's really been special is getting to know people through it. I think it's a vehicle for community and connection.
I hope that when it's gone, people will miss it and will understand what we had here.
I can't tell you what a gift it is.
It touched me in many ways.
An experience I don't think I'll ever forget.
It's left us with something that we'll treasure forever.
The congregation has to want it back. I don't think we've seen the last of it.
I think so many of us have a dream of seeing the St. John's Bible return to St. Luke's and become part of our life here more permanently. There's some challenges there. It's not cheap. We have some money to raise. We'd have work to do to really invite others beyond this campus to discover for themselves what we have been so fortunate to know, which is the power of these volumes to ignite the spiritual imagination, to draw us deeper into love of God and love of neighbor, and to know the power of Scripture to transform ourselves and transform our communities.